Hello, hello, hello. How y'all doing this lunch break day? I am not the most excited right now, but we gonna roll with it because this life with Tashanna over here. So I would love to come on and brag about what a great time that we had last night because it definitely was a good time last night. But y'all know when I'm in my mood, I'm in my mood. So, and this story may be something that's so simple to everybody else. And for those of y'all who don't know, I am Tashanna. And this is Life with Tashanna over here. So you never know what you're going to get when you click in this live over here. One day I could be in the garden. One day I could be raising all kind of hell. I don't know. This is my real life over here. So Life with Tashanna. So anyways, I told y'all yesterday I was laughing because I went to a doctor's appointment yesterday that I didn't have. My kids was like, because they doing all the fun things and everything at school and all that these last couple of days. So I done messed that up, right? Got that done, everything. We still laughed through it because they was able to make it to everything that they needed to make it to. Get up this morning. No, let me go back to last night. Last night, and remind you, I'm telling you a simple story. In the kitchen last night, while I'm cleaning up, and also singing my voice away even more. It's about time for my kids to go to bed, and I'm singing in between, taking care of whatever else I am taking care of. But I can remember everything that's happening around me. My memory, I think, is impeccable. So while this is happening, I'm multitasking. I am mom. I am everybody, right? I remember a point where one of my daughters came to me last night and said, "Can I?" She's not too long ago got her hair done. Can I take this? And when I'm talking about this is all her hair, not a piece of weave or something that I've put in her hair. This is her hair, right? I have it up and it's done. And I have the rest of it up and done too. And her hair has maybe been like this for about a week, maybe week and a half. So she has 3 like ponytail situations, 2 in the back. And I'm trying to break it down for y'all so you understand what I'm talking about. She got 2 ponytails in the back on top of each other. They down her back. The third one up here. I remember her perfectly well. "Mom, is it okay if I take down this ponytail?" She's doing that at the time. She's talking to me. And I said, "Yes, you can take it down, but not tonight. Leave it like that tonight." And I said that to her because I know that she likes her hair to be like the crinkly type thing. So leave it like that tonight. It's not hard to take it loose, right? But her, she always got a comeback. Well, can I just go ahead and take it loose? I said, no, not tonight. You can take it down in the morning. And then she said, but I said, did you hear what I said? I said, you can take it down in the morning or you don't have to take it down at all. Which one will it be? I'll take it down in the morning. Now, mind you, we talking to a very intelligent, very, very intelligent young lady. Very. Realize that we keep saying it. Can I just take it down tonight? That's her, that's her thing. No. And see, I don't go that deep into things until after it goes to another level. And you go back and you backtrack over everything that happens. So we keep saying the word it because we talking about this one that she specifically asked me for. So, okay, we get past that and she finally, goes to bed and everything, right? So this morning we get up, get her ready for school and everything, and I'm moving around and doing what I got, not ready for school, but they had appointments this morning, right? So like, okay, she moving around, I'm moving around doing what I'm doing. And it's not abnormal for us to not see each other in like 30-minute spans, because when you're up, I'm finding stuff to do, she doing her thing. And sometimes I'll go and sit in the living room with them and I'll even fall back to sleep sometimes, but I'll wake up like with every noise, period. I just got to tell the whole story. Okay. And I'm getting myself ready, but when I come around the corner and sit back down in the living room, she comes walking out of the bathroom. And she has, not only has she taken this down, but she's taken everything down in the back. And at first I look at her and the first thing I want to say to her is, oh, your hair looks, and I look and I'm like, I'm in the midst of the sentence saying it to her and I pause. And I look at her and I say, why did you take the rest of your hair loose? She said, in her very, very proper voice, that's what I asked you last night, Mom. And when I say that, I mean it. That's what I asked you last night, Mom. And I said, I paused for a minute and I was like, are you ready to have a debate with this child this morning? So right now I'm having a battle on the inside of my head. Because manipulation is one of my triggers. I can recognize it right from the turn of my head, or I when I hear manipulation, it's like my ear, I could be deaf to everything going on in the room, but when I feel or I hear any tinge of manipulation, it's like my volume been turned all the way up. when I sense it coming. So when she says to me, and she know exactly who I am, that's what I asked you last night. But see, she think that sometimes that I'm just so busy that I don't remember or see a lot of things. And a lot of times she try to tell me, Mom, you forgot. But yeah, no. So she's telling me, well, this is what I asked you last night. And then she says, I say, no, that's not what you asked me. I said, you specifically asked me, can you take down this one right here? And I said, and as a matter of fact, I said, I'm going to tell you what you were doing. And at the moment, I start to explain to her about the moment. I knew at that moment my daughter knew what she was doing. But she didn't want to stop the story. And no matter how she knew, because while she was in there taking those other plats are loose, she already knew that I know this ain't what I asked Mom to do, but this what I want to do. And if she had asked that the night before, it would have been fine that happened. She probably would have got some pushback from me because she does not like her hair to get done, and she don't like to do her hair. So I want it to stay nice as long as it can, without having to bother with her. And she fighting against it every which way you go. But anyway, that was not the big thing of it. Once she started trying to tell me that she asked me something different, I can start to feel these triggers are happening. And I can feel myself starting to feel like when I tried to tell something or say something, how my situations were manipulated. Like I think about, and I don't know this part of the story to be for real, but this is how this thing transitions, and I have to pay attention to the transition of the conversation that I'm having with my kid when a situation from my traumatic childhood enters into the conversation. And I have to know when it come in where I have to cut it off, because I know I'm like an inch away from crossing a line of something I never want my kids to have to experience. So when I say, as she's talking to me and she trying to tell me something that I know did not happen, what's happening on the inside of me now is getting that feeling of when the person I said kidnapped me. Remember, I said to him, let me go ask my mom, is it okay for me to go? And he said, no, I already had asked your mom. And I don't know, I'm not clear on this part of the story, because I'm thinking now in my grown mental mind, because there's questions you want answers to. Nobody else going to understand why you want and why you need those answers. So one of the questions in my mind is, what did he tell my mama when he brought me back home? Because he brought me back home. What did he say to her? And my mind keeps thinking over and over and over again, what could he have said to her? So my thought pattern is kind of along the way of, And I don't even know if he even ever approached my mom after. I don't know if he just let me out of the car. That part of the story I can say I'm not clear on. I don't remember when we got out of the car, because it was just like as soon as I got out of the car, it was like I was whisked away or something into the house. I immediately started getting fussed at or whatever. But in my adult mind now, it's like I'm thinking, is like the manipulation. What did he say to her? So I'm thinking it had to be somewhere along the lines of, well, she told me that you said it's okay for her to ride to the store with me. And anytime manipulation come up, it's like always is like this thing. And I don't know if it's there because I've never been able like to talk to anybody like while I'm mentally going through it. And I'm not really sad, but nobody understands the pressure of, don't do the same thing to your kid that was done to you. Because when you taught to do that, it's a weight. It's heavy to not do the things that you were raised up under. But if you have the notion that I don't want my kids to feel what I felt, you fight it. So at a certain point when she got there and I asked her, something in me just said, stop telling her what she said and tell her, ask her, okay, well, what was our conversation in the kitchen last night? Because she's very, very smart and she can repeat everything. But at this moment, I know I need to calm me down, because what has entered the room doesn't have anything, nothing to do with my daughter that's standing in front of me. Because a part of me wanted to walk away from it and not say anything to her at all about it. But I also understand that too. Even though I got that coming on the inside of me, I still got to be a mama. And I got to have her be accountable for that kind of action. So I know I can't walk away. But do you understand? I just went through a whole doctor's appointment, a whole car ride, a whole, and to hold on to the pressure of not breaking down and crying because those memories start coming and flooding back, and ain't nothing you can do about it in the moment but hold on to it, because you don't want to let that out on any of your kids. That is pressure. But I'm so thankful for my growth, because in that moment, I could have kept going. I could have made my daughter feel the lowest of the low. But instead, I chose growth today, y'all. I chose growth once again. And do it always feel good? Absolutely not. Because sometimes those pressures you fighting against it get heavy. And all I can think about is, Shauna, you can't do that, because if you do it to her, she gonna do it to your grandkids. And y'all, I just wanted to talk somebody through a process that it don't mean you ain't gonna ever feel those pressures or those things ain't gonna come up. They gonna come up. It ain't about the thoughts coming up. Is what you gonna do when those thoughts come up. And sometimes you need to hear people's plans, so that, or their story, so that if you ever in those moments and you ain't know what to do in those times, you need to know a threshold that's on the inside of you. And when soon as one of your traumas enter into whatever situation you is, you need to put a pause on it and bring recognition to it. And no, I don't call it out loud and say it in front of my kids, because I don't want them to look at me and be like, oh, she done lost it or something. In my mind, I can call myself out, and I can say, all right, all right, it's time to back off of it. Time to back off of it. And I have those conversations on the inside of me, because that's what keep me from continuing the generational curses that we carry in our family. So if you don't want to experience those things and continue them through your family line, you have to start working on those things and doing things different. And it's okay if you haven't started doing it already. It ain't never too late to start. And this is something that happens a lot of times. I just had to bring it to notice and talk about it, but to hang on to it and not give my daughter, and no, she's not comfortable, but she didn't. I acknowledged to her, and I said, I did let her know that you told a lie, period. And we left it just as that. And I call it giving them time to think about it, because it was a quiet ride, and usually we laughing and we talking, or we doing a lot of what we as a family always do. And that's seen a lot of the times riding together. And this was a very quiet, like a little bit of the radio on or whatever, ride or whatever, you know. There is, and I was trying not to make this live be so long or whatever, but I kind of feel like the place that I was in when I came on here, I feel like when the burden lift up off of you, it, it's like okay, you released enough of it. So I kind of feel like I'm in that place right now. But right now we're just in a quiet place, and I always go to a quiet place. I tell you all, this is my place where I come and self isolate to when I leave. I don't want myself to get to those places, so I find personal spaces. If I have to get in the car, if I have to go in a room by my own self, if I have to go sit in the bathroom, wherever I gotta go to be able to have that time and space that I need to clear myself, um, then, or if you need to clear yourself, find that place in that space for you to be able to go and do that. So, um, yeah, and I know the doctors and stuff knew it's like I was in I just holding it, and then I told you I'm not one is like I either got a real smile, I got a smile like you're gonna know I'm smiling, but I really don't feel like smiling. But okay, so that's everybody around just knows that today is just not the day. And so I've been walking around with not the. I told you the story about my daughter is that's a very simple thing, and I'm used to calling her out on it whenever she does it or whatever. But when I don't know if it was just the place that I was in or something and sometimes things like that come to show you how much you're growing and how much you're able to, because just as well as I'm able to call her out, I want to be able to call myself out on things that I can see myself, and definitely don't ever want to take anything out, give somebody else. That's one thing I don't believe in, giving somebody else's trash. But I guess we all eventually end up doing it at some point, because there's times you can walk in a space and somebody can be yelling at you about something that happened with somebody else, and you ain't had no part of it. You just happened to come in and say the wrong thing at the right time to get what you get. But you know what I mean when I say, not to take it out on, to give it to somebody who it doesn't belong to. Um but yeah, let me look back in the. Hey, everybody! I want, when I'm trying to talk about something, I have to try and get my thought process out. And sometimes when I'm on here talking, my thought process to y'all ain't gonna make no sense. I don't mind that anybody ask any questions about it. Like if I make a statement or something, but I don't finish it, I just keep moving along. I'm just going through my thought process. I ain't really trying to make it make sense. I'm just thinking about all the different things that I thought about in that moment. And sometimes I'm trying to hurry up and tell the story and give it to you all. But I don't mind the questions being asked, because sometimes, you know, people want clarity about, just like, you just come on and say all these little different random things. No, I'm going through my thought process. And if you've been through any of the things that I've been through, and you're searching for healing, you always looking for ways of growth. And sometimes you sharing your story with somebody else, and then they start sharing their story or asking you questions about stuff. Those things help you recognize those things, if I'm making any sense to anybody. But now I feel like I can now go back a little bit. But anyways, let me make this clear. Where I constantly have conversations with my daughter all the time about a lot of things. And this is just for a little bit of clarity, because I don't. Yeah. Anyways, just for those, we constantly have conversations, and I call her out on things and just tell her, don't do that. You don't have to add no extra sauce. You ain't got to take nothing from it. Just what was said, let it be said. Don't do all of that or whatever. So whenever I see her do that, then and she's very young, so or whatever. But me getting upset and starting to get angry didn't have anything to do with her. It's just in the moment I'm thinking about this thing enters the room, and it's almost like and what it's called is it's childhood PTSD. So it just creeps itself in at the weirdest of times, and sometimes you sit there and the thought has entered, and you sitting there, and sometimes you just sit and you think, you just take deep breaths and not really deal with it in the moment because it ain't the time. Some people can say stuff, or they could have been a part of the room when something else happened. It's so many different things that can trigger it. So I'm just choosing now not to hold it on the inside and talk about it, because I know if I'm going through it, there's a lot of other people, because this is not a woman thing. This is a people thing. That's going through this same process, and they thinking how they thought process is like the craziest things. And sometimes you have to get up and take a deep breath and walk away from your thought process, because sometimes it's too much to keep thinking about the thoughts that you have. So you have to walk away from it. So the anger part has nothing to do with my daughter. We debate all the time, and yes, sometimes I will raise my voice at her every now and then, but especially when she thinks she doing her big one anyway. But it is not even about that, because this is a very simple thing that, and you can just plait the plaits back together again. But no, sister, you cannot tell me that you told me one thing or what. But anywho, we gonna go on past it. But y'all hopefully y'all understand what I'm saying. And if you don't, then I don't. Like I said, I don't mind you asking questions. But anyways, I'm gonna go back to that, because I do feel a relief from it now, and so, which means that now that I've talked about it and discussed it, when I don't feel the need to stay in my quiet place, I stay in my quiet place and don't say anything to anybody, because I don't want to give an energy to somebody that it does not belong to. And if it makes sense, I'm being careful of the seeds that I plant. We talk about that all the time over here. But before that happened, this morning when I woke up, I couldn't help but think about last night and how everybody, people came through last night and had an awesome time. And I'm not saying this, for anybody, because people sometimes don't want anybody to know, but there was some people that came over from over here on YouTube and did Star Maker with us last night. We had an amazing time with no voice at all for me. But it was some voices up in that room. Not that everybody have to have no voice and no. I mean, come through and sing, and we can all have a good time together. But there were some beautiful voices in the room. We had a great time, and I was over there trying to sing. And honey child, the roosters sound better than me last night. Yes, they do. But we had an amazing time. last night. And shout out to Savannah for coming over there and chilling with us. Savannah say, I'm in the building, y'all. I've been over here ever since 7 o'clock. Savannah came through last night and chilled the whole time. We had a good time, and I think we stayed. Well, I think it was probably like 11 o'clock or something. We got off of there. Even last night, one of mine sung one of my songs with me that I couldn't get the rest of my voice out on. So we had a good time. I we absolutely had a good time last night, and I appreciate y'all for coming through. Um, and showing some love over there, or coming over there and utilizing us as the radio, because it was a good old radio station last night. It sounded really good up in there last night. They were singing all the good old all the good old goodies over there they were singing last night. And I don't know when we gonna do it again, but you never know. We might be on there tonight. My sister is off. Shalissa, that's me. She is off, so she be having all of this free time. So um then I go over there even when nobody's there, and I just sing all by myself in a room, or sometimes I'll go to somebody else's room or whatever. We open up our room whenever, but I have a good time just singing, whether it's a crowd or it's me by my own self. It can be me and one other person, and I'm just gonna sit there and sing and sing. That's me. But we had a good time over there. Come through over there and check us out. There's you don't even have to give. You can stay a set of numbers if you like to. You don't ever have to tell anybody who you are to come through. You know, and check things out over there. But it's fun over there. It's fun to do different things, and what better people to have fun with is the people who I talk and share my thoughts, um, my tears, my smile, my ups and my downs, all of that. I share those things with y'all. So why not share the karaoke with y'all too? So yeah, I have a lot of I got that thing up off of me that was heavy. I got some other things that I need to do. They're not heavy, but they got me thinking thinking. I wanted to join, but I didn't know how. Oh, share with Shay, you was over there too last night. Lord, I okay then. The next time, we'll do one or something. But the next time we do one, I don't know. Maybe we should do one this weekend or Friday night or something like that. We'll see. The next time we do that, like we can, those ones that want to learn how to be able to sing the songs or whatever. There's a button that's there in the room over there that I can click, and you still will be your same bubble. It doesn't show your face. There's no camera thing or no none of that stuff over there on that side. So I can switch over the room and it turns into like a little chat room, and we actually can sit in chairs and stuff that they got over there. It's actually neat. But you can sit in the chairs, and probably like at 6:30 instead of 7 like we started the last time. I'll come over there like a little bit early and explain in the little chat thing or whatever, of how you do everything. But it's literally just a button that's there that says sing, and you can press the sing button, and then it'll put you up there. But before you go and do it, like, there's other ways that you can do songs and stuff. But like I said I do something over there where I explain it to y'all over there on that side. But um yeah, it has you can I see something on my nose. A piece of lint. Um, you can chat. I didn't know that some Savannah said last night she was sitting there the whole time. She didn't know that you can chat the same way you chatting here and there. Like you can say stuff to y'all know I ain't good at multitasking, but you can say stuff to the person that's singing. You can type it. You can see it, but I don't be reading it because let me tell you something. The same way I be over here and if I read into the chat while I'm talking about something, it gonna take me that much longer to talk about it and remember whatever it is I'm gonna say. If I'm up there singing and I try to read something that somebody typing in the chat or something, uh, I actually start singing the words that I'm reading in the chat. I done did it a whole bunch of times. So I can't be multitasking like that right there doing all of that extra stuff. That one right there don't work for me. So I won't say nothing when I'm saying unless like we get into the middle or like the pause in between. I can't do it. I can't read and sing the song at the same time. Nope. But Miss Coffee, how are you this afternoon? How are you? You did them plants over there. Hey, Callie. Thank you so much. I'm starting to realize that more and more every day as I start to talk about these things, and I've been long dealing with this stuff way before I came on here. If I'm telling you, I've been dealing with it since I've been 5 years old and up. I've been dealing with it for a long time before I ever came on here to talk about any of it. So, um, and hopefully, me talking about my things as great and trust and believe, I ain't saying that nobody else call me crazy or whatever. I just think sometimes my thought process is crazy, but my crazy works for me. My crazy works for me. So, and I call it my crazy because somebody else may call it crazy. That let me accept it. You can call it crazy if you want to, but that's what worked for me, and I'm still it's my crazy thoughts. So it ain't gonna change them, no none of that stuff. That's my thought process and that's how I go down it. So just like encouraging somebody else, whatever it is you gotta go through and you gotta put a marker there. It's like I have a cap on it. When I know I can feel myself, it's like, wait a minute, you building up pressure about something you don't even need to build pressure up about. Pipe down, pipe down. You got to talk to yourself sometimes. You know how they say you got to encourage yourself in the Lord sometimes. You have to talk to yourself, encourage yourself to do the right things. To do the right things. So, but I'm mixing and matching things, but I got some homework and everything that I need to do because I told y'all we're gonna have that conversation that I told y'all about. Just be looking for it because it's gonna either be posted maybe today or tomorrow sometime. But I said before this week over with. There's a conversation that we're gonna have that all of y'all was showing much interested in the live that we did yesterday. So that's gonna be a really good conversation because I know everybody got a story about that right there. But yeah, and another thing too, what I need to work on is like remember I done told y'all I done tried to write a book. I don't know how many times, but what's so irritating with me about trying to write a book is I can't be the one to sit there to write it. What I've actually tried to do was write it, even type it out before. And there is so many going down that line of writing the book. Oh, Jesus. It's like riding down 95 or a major highway like that. You riding down that road and there is so many exits and entrances as you trying to tell the story. There is so much, many places you can go. So it's like, when I'm telling my story, it's like, if I don't have somebody that to and trust and believe, like anybody I've interviewed with or whatever, I never want to be like scripted. Don't script. Ask questions and let me go down the line, because I know how to say, I don't want to talk about that right now or whatever. I can go down those lines, but it's like I always let them know. There'll be times that I'll be talking, and sometimes you got to rein me back in, because I tell y'all that sometimes over here. I tell y'all that sometimes you got to rein me back in, because that means I done went down that road and I done seen a restaurant or something over here to the side, and I done exited off of one of those exits going down somewhere, and I done ended up telling you a whole nother story. And then I remember, okay, it's time to get back on the road so you can get back home or wherever you was initially going. That's literally how I be working. So it's so hard to, and I'm telling you, I've tried so many times to do it, and it's almost like it creates a whole nother headache. A whole nother headache. You trying to get in, and it's like you get so far and then you stuck. Okay, I'm gonna put it away, and I still got all of all of the places of where I did. The one thing about me, I still have I have a lot of my journals. I don't have every one of them. I lost some of them when we moved from one place before, when I was younger. I lost my younger journals, so they probably out there floating around, and somebody has all of the stories in there that I talked about, and God knows who else done read them, whatever. But those are lost somewhere in La La Land. But my ones from child, I ain't gonna even tell y'all how many years I got back, but I got my journals. And then I stopped journaling. So okay, you said let chat GPT do it for you. All right, Miss Confident, we gonna have to talk about that. Tell it what you want. Need to draw time. Okay, you need to make a timeline. You can even use it to edit and rewrite it. Okay. All right. Listen, we all have a little crazy. Hey, and you know what? All I do is I'll go ahead and add crazy onto it. I've been told I've been crazy about a whole lot of things. It's only one person that I ultimately accepted them for the way that they said I was crazy, but they weren't actually calling me crazy, and that was my uncle. Because he never used to tell me that I was crazy. He had a way with words that he let you understand what he trying to say to you, but he don't put you down when he say that. And he's one of the constant men that I think of in my ear all the time. And he is not he older than I am, but not a whole lot. But back in the days, he used to be like, girl, you got a bad chemical imbalance. And he used to get on my nerves so bad when he said it to me. I'd be like, get out my house. Get out. I used to cuss him out and everything, and I put him out all the time or whatever. But he never called me crazy. Never. He always used to say, and he was right. And I could respect it because of the way I can go back and remember him saying it to me. He never said it to me like it was like he was trying to put me down for saying it. Like all the other times that I've been crazy in my life, I've been crazy because you want me to be crazy. I'm telling the truth. And right now, today, when people call me crazy, I just start laughing. I always start laughing when they call me crazy because I've accepted. I'm crazy. I'm crazy and I'm cool. I'm cool with that name, crazy. I'm crazy. But I be telling the truth though. We all have a little craziness. That's right, Shay, guys. We go ahead and claim it. Just just a little bit of a good amount of it. You jumping from one thing to the next just comes with age. Moving right along, just get it on out. So y'all be going along with going down my thought process right along with me. I will definitely buy your book. All right, Callie. All right, thank you, thank you. I already, I don't look at that, Miss Coffee. I already done sold one already, right there. It's like when you walk in the room for something, then forget what you went in there for. Hey, Shay, even this right here. Imagine, okay, I'm on, I'm on the last three of my 14 children, right? Imagine walking in the room and you going through all your children's name before you get to the right one. Before you get to the right name, and then you be like, shoot, girl, you know who I'm talking to. You looking at who you talking to, but you don't say it everybody's name, but except for the one that's in front of you. Girl, you know who I'm talking about. And I say girl because most all of them girls. So yeah, it be like that. You walk in the room and forget, dang, what I came in here for all the time. uh but yeah. So, that's our little journey that we be going on. We be riding down the road and then we be veering off on all these different places and then, bring it back. Shauna, come on back over here. Come on back over here. So that's how I be doing interviews with people. I be like, I let them know right off rip. Honey, sometimes you have to rein me back in and I don't take no offense to it. You know, sometimes people will try and take advantage of it or whatever. But for the most part, all of the people that I have told that to, and let them know, I acknowledge that I be going off on what Ply said. Ran off on the plug twice. I be done ran way off on the side. Been done ran off on it. But rein me back in. Yeah. So my thought process can be, wow, I can sit on here all day long and just leave the camera on and I could just be talking just randomly. If you was inside of my head and just knowing the thoughts of the things that I'm thinking about, the way I'm working through, like, why did this happen? Why did it happen this way? Well, what could have, and especially when you got a lot of open-ended things, a lot of things, you don't have closure to it. When there's no ending to it, it's just left open-ended. Sometimes some of the hardest things that you deal with, the things that you don't necessarily have closure on, the question, and that's why, like, I can understand kids that don't get the answer of why didn't you raise me? Why weren't you there for me? Running after closure, and you can listen. This is to ones that, and y'all can share this with anybody, whoever you want to, but this is gonna be a word to the ones that, you know if you feel the need to give up one of your kids, the best thing on the inside of you can know to do, especially if you gave them up before you cause any harm to them. You may have caused them a little bit of hurt or whatever by not being there or whatever. But if you did all of those things, at least be able to pat yourself on the back and say, I may be ashamed that I wasn't there or I didn't do X, Y, and Z, but I'm glad I made the decision that I did to make sure that my kid have a better life. But also too, if you got the time and the opportunity, at a certain point you have to kick the shame to the side and set your kid free and let them know it didn't have anything to do with them. It wasn't them. Take the accountability if you can and let them know, because that's something I feel like they be searching for the whole time. Was it something wrong with me? Well, when I talk about stuff like that, then I feel like too in our family, like we got a lot of abandonment issues. Not the abandonment issues like what like the word abandonment means, like somebody got up and walked away, even though some of those stories are true in our family. But abandonment issues can be anything, like your mom passed away when you were really young, that type of stuff. Absent fathers, because I'm telling you, as I was growing up, we ain't had no men's. No men's was around. It's like all women. And now looking back at most of those women that we was around, everybody, in my opinion, not that this is facts, but I feel like all of those women that I was around have traumatic childhoods that nobody's really talking about. That's what I feel. And you ever know you've been through something before, and as soon as a person that been through the same thing you've been through before, when they open their mouth, that then there's somebody trying to pretend like they've been through some of the same things you've been through, and you looking at them like, child, you lying. You lying. You don't necessarily say it out loud or whatever, but like when like when somebody has been in some of the same situations that you've been in before. Not that it's and I ain't even talking about just traumatic situations. When somebody done been through, let's just say you was one, you get whoopings by your mama. If you done got a whooping before, that ain't something you can pretend like you know about. If you ain't never got one, if you have got one before, then you can identify with that. And the kind of whooping you got. And those kind of things, they say the things that'll make you laugh can also make you cry too. Those the kind of things too. It's like sometimes you laugh about them. I've been in that situation before, laughing about a situation. The story about when my brother shot me. We used to sit around and laugh about that story all the time, until one day to think about it was not funny. Because then I thought about, like, you start thinking about things in different ways. You think about, what if that had happened to one of my kids? And then you start going down the thought process of everything that happened. Hey, growing with Hudson. Hey, Albert. You start going down the thought process of what actually happened on that day and everything. And it's like, golly, that was really messed up. And then you ain't had time to sit back and think about it, because it's like everything that was happening was like, to you, it seemed like it was normal. And sometimes those things can seem like they normal until you have your own kids, like, and you realize, like, nah, heck no, I didn't get whoopings. Well, see, that's growing with Hudson. See, that's what I was just talking about a few minutes ago. I just said, or what was the words I used? Because I said, if you get whoopings or you get something that's similar to it, that you talk about it in different capacities. And when you can understand what you got, because there's a difference. There's a whooping, there's an ass whooping, and then there's a natural bone beat down. I have experienced all three of them. All three of them. So, but I'm just saying, when you, just like when Growing with Hudson came across and she said that, I understand what that means. But a person that's saying it, they can they can say and kind of laugh about it and like look at it. But when you understand what that means, that's a different situation. So yeah, and unfortunately some of us walking around with the shame and the guilt of all of that stuff, and it don't belong to us. And oftentimes it don't belong to the parents that gave it to us. They gave it to us because that's what they got. That's all they had to give, and which is why I come on here to try and encourage somebody else to give up what they gave to us back then and choose something different. Because there's different ways of doing a whole bunch of stuff, and it's not only one avenue that you can go down and get it done. So that's why I don't mind telling my stories, as crazy as I feel sometimes when I say it. Um, I don't mind telling my little stories and stuff because I want to encourage somebody else to, you know, do something different. Do something different. You know, grow. We all about that growth over here. And y'all see behind me, I wanted y'all to see. Um, Life be getting busy. And you see these plants still inside of here. So I ain't gonna say it now another time that they gonna be outside. The next thing y'all just gonna know is they gonna be outside. But you all, I think that's gonna do it for today. If we gonna go on Star Maker Friday, um I put a post up on here, like I said, you ain't got to come through and sing if you don't want to or no none of that. Just come through and listen to the radio. And I am talking. Hopefully my voice be back right. At least I ain't skipping and stuff like I was doing last night. I actually thought that I was gonna harm myself more last night, and I was like getting so excited and wanting to sing and stuff. And I actually had to make myself sit down somewhere because no words was coming out at some of the times. And you talking about sounding horrible last night, but I tried. But if we gonna do it, then I'll make a post up and let you all know. But come and listen to the whole vibe over there that we be having going on Star Maker. And y'all, we can still chat the same way, right in the chat, in between and everything, have conversations. Because I go over there too sometimes, and I open up the room over there, and people come inside of the room, and we sit right there. And over there, you can still chat in the you can chat like this right here, or you can choose one of the seats that's up there, and you can come and sit down in the seat and get down out of it when you want to. You're in control of it. um you know is same kind of the same vibe over here. um Let me see. Sherry said, no, it's not you. These kids be tripping. I gotta fake a whole move for my son to leave. I mean, literally start putting my stuff in storage. Well, okay, I see now, Shay, why you be see when you done been through it or you done touched and see, you that understanding be there. You gotta make them know. Girl, when I was in college, my classmate, when her mother fussed and cussed, her feelings was hurt. I was like, I'll take a fuss and cuss any day because that beat down was something that, oh my gosh. When you see, and it be just like that too, growing with us. And it's like, you see what these other kids be complaining about, and you know where you been at, and you be like, shit, I'll take that. I'll take that any day. Any day. I mean, every one of my friends' houses or whatever that I went to, man, I remember just going to their house sometime and just dreaming. Some of them, if I talk to them back then, like this one, I almost said her name, but one time I was talking to her and I was telling her she don't know none of these stories because I never used to talk to her about that because I didn't think she would understand me or whatever. I'm gonna leave that story alone, see, because I done went down the whole. But growing with Hudson, I understand just what you're talking about when you say that, like, people can be explaining and complaining about their situation, just like any of our situations. There's people that went through way worse than what we went through in our in our minds. They situation. There's people out here that went through worse things than we have went through, but some of the stories that you be hearing these kids talk about and stuff, you be like, oh, that's it. So then that make you want to tell them about your story, the life you live, to make them understand how blessed you truly were. I know up under one of my videos, this guy said that my kids should be embarrassed for me to be their mama because of one of the videos that I posted up. I said, okay, child, be embarrassed. Child. There go my mama right there. My husband was a drinker, but not today. I told my son, just learn that's not what you want to be. A life lesson. Absolutely. They always say, and growing with Hudson, I always say this all the time. This don't have nothing to do with your husband, because I can give you stories. Eventually you all will hear my stories. My husband has a whole testimony himself. But they say you can learn a lot from a dummy. I always say that. I say that my own self. You be looking at people, when people say to me, how you gonna talk about it? You did the same thing. You can learn a lot from this dummy. I'm trying to tell you, so you ain't got to be a crash dummy too. Just pay attention to what I'm saying. You ain't got to do all of it, but pay attention to what I'm saying to you when I talk. So you can learn a lot from them. Some of them think because, and I'm gonna say it this way right here, because I can say my mama taught me a lot of things. Even in the wrong she did, in the right she did, she taught me something. Because what I didn't think was right, I can choose to do the opposite of it. So wouldn't that still mean I learned from her? Absolutely. Whether it's good or bad, there's something on the inside of you that lets you know that what happened to you is wrong. Don't repeat what you feel like it was done wrong to you, and the things that was right and beneficial for you. And that, would I say, all of the times that I got in trouble, I don't really, I don't know. Now that I'm even sitting here thinking about it, it's like, what thing that I can remember doing that I should have got a whooping for? I don't know, because I told you I was like that little kid that I just sit in the corner and don't really say nothing to nobody, smile about everything. And I was the type of person that whoever I was around and they was nice to me, I always made them seem like I added like extra sauce onto like who they was. When like I was a little kid, I can remember like my godparents showed me a lot of love, did a lot of things for me. That I'm very grateful for. Um, and so I remember in their house they had this ceiling that had like these little little like glitter flicks or something like that. So, they had one part of the room, they had like a bar area that had like the disco ball or whatever that was in it. So if you turn the disco ball on, it flicks onto those little um pieces of glitter, but they weren't glitter because I guess it was like a glitter or whatever, but it was real shiny or whatever. Whenever like they would bring other girls over there like to have sleepovers with me or whatever like that right there, I would be I didn't even know what the heck a real diamond was or whatever back then. I was just being a kid, but I everything that I said out of my mouth, I wanted my godparents to look like they were the king and the queen of this castle. So I'm gonna sing their highest praise, when I was with them and stuff. So the other girls would come over and I told them, those real diamonds in the in the roof. So, you know, stuff like that, try no biggie, but um congrats to your husband, Hudson. Absolutely, because that's a strong habit to overcome. Well, and I already I've said it before, many times before. My husband is he smoked crack for more than 20 years and he quit. He got a whole bunch of stories that he be talking about. I tried to make him I tried to make him talk about it. My husband say, you could tell all the stories you want to tell. He said, but I ain't coming on no damn YouTube. I ain't coming on no damn YouTube. I ain't studying no YouTube or nothing. He's like, man, he kind of like child ain't with that. So no, but definitely testimony. Absolutely. Absolutely a testimony. So that's why I'm letting growing with Hustle. So people take stuff and spin it around. I would never want you to think that I'm calling anybody a dummy. I'm just saying we all make mistakes. I'm one of those ones that willing to take the mistakes I made and try to teach somebody else with them. So that's what I mean when I say you can learn a lot from a dummy. So y'all let me I got a whole bunch of thoughts and stuff going on in my mind. I'll be done read something else. I'll be here running my mouth again. But like I said, if we get ready to do those other things over on Star Maker, I'll post something up and let y'all know. And we gonna get it cracking. I'm pretty sure they're gonna want to do it. My sisters, them. But I got some other stuff that I need to get done. I did the same thing with my mom, the opposite. Yeah, you still learn from them. And though if we were in the same area, we would definitely be buddies. Life experience and common mindset. Absolutely. We'll be over here talking all the time about when we travel to different places and stuff, like the stop through or whatever. I always say like I was actually over there. If y'all ain't been through over there to Miss Coffee's, go over there and check out Miss Coffee's garden. Like in my mind, when somebody explaining something to you, like you draw a picture in your mind of like what it looks like or whatever. Whenever they doing something, just like with growing with Hudson, I think when I thought of you doing your garden and you completing it, I get a vision in my mind of what your garden gonna look like. But my vision is not necessarily what vision that's going to come to fruition when I see it. So when I start to see y'all put y'all things out and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, I did not even imagine it this way. Man, I was looking at Miss Coffee's garden the other day, and the most we talk about her garden, her growing on the inside. Honey, child, I went over there and looked at Miss Coffee's garden, honey. Miss Coffee got it lined up. I love when there's like pop of color. She using 5-gallon buckets. Remember I said use what you have, utilize the things that you have. I love the way she got the 5-gallon buckets that she got from Popeyes, and because they they got color on them or whatever, and it's like so bright. It's almost like when I looked at her pots, her 5 gallon buckets and stuff, it made me think about my sunflowers when I walk out into the garden and everything. And so I went over there and saw her garden and stuff, and absolutely beautiful. And then to see Growing with Hudson, like putting her stuff together. Like when I first started looking at Growing with Hudson, she would be showing her seeds and everything. And so how she was showing me the seeds, I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna have an immaculate garden. But I didn't know that at the time that Growing with Hudson did not have, she is on her way to getting there to the thing, which is she planted the seeds into the ground. She prepared her seeds, to get to where she want to get at. And so to have that vision of her getting there, and then to see her out there planting some things and everything. And y'all check Growing with Hudson out too, because she into all kinds of growing. Me myself, I be over here trying to grow food and stuff like that, but Growing with Hudson she in there. I don't got no, her seed collection is impeccable. I thought I had some seeds. No, she is ready. She the seed store over there. So y'all go and check those people out, and just but you see how I done skipped all, because I say, well, we rolling through each other town, we stop through. And that's what I'm talking about. I would love to have times when I invite someone over to to stop by in the area or whatever, and then have a seat in the garden and just talk for a couple of hours. That'd be nice. But you gotta be mindful of who it is. But I would absolutely love that. I feel the same way Growing with Hudson. Well, cheers to him as well too. That's wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. One of my sugar cane is thriving too. Oh, good. Listen, if you only get one of them to go, that's all you got. That's the only one that came out. Growing with Hudson was one of them. I got it. Go see. Oh, okay, then I gotta go look at it. Okay. See, ain't nothing wrong with that, right? There's so many kind of addicts that you can be. Ain't nothing wrong with being a seed addict. No. And that just, all them seeds gonna represent growth. Just keep on growing. But y'all, I be on here and I keep on talking to y'all. But we'll be back. I thank y'all for coming over here, and I think we in a well-balanced relationship, because I feel like when I come over here, you all lend me a listening ear and let me talk to you all about the things that I'm going through in my life. You come over here and help talk me through my tears and stuff, or just to listen, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you all for that. And hopefully while I'm doing that, hopefully I'm also giving something to you. And in that way is what I mean. We're in a balanced relationship. And that's how every relationship should be. There should be a balance. One should not be taking more from the other. And we should be putting back and forth into one another. And that way we all continue to grow, and we don't end up with insufficient funds. Yes, but if it gets to full size, I will multiply them. Yes, because you can separate them all the time. But once the stem on it start to grow, you can you're gonna be able to multiply really quick. Really quick. So I done already started planting. I planted I think 6 of them back in the back already, but I'm trying to place them strategically so that they don't get in the way of like other stuff, because you gotta give them up here in the front where I got those at. It doesn't it hasn't started taking up a whole bunch of space or whatever, but and I don't water those like the ones in the back will get watered. So the ones that's in the back probably gonna grow like crazy. This one right here will just get watered like whenever we feel like it. I don't have no watering schedule for the ones up in the front. We just like they be talking to us. So when they tell us to give them some water, they thirsty. Then that's when we give them water. We give them water. The back there, that's an everyday thing. But me and my husband be tag teaming, that kind of stuff. And even my daughter is so interested in that kind of stuff now. So she love to go out too, and from time to time water. And then I got one that love to harvest everything. That's all she like to do. She don't want to do none of the other stuff. She just want to harvest everything. Have a wonderful and blessed day. You do the same thing growing with husband. All of you all have a wonderful, blessed day. The kids today are some little manipulators. They start younger and younger. I should have whooped mine longer. Hey, all right, longer. Hey, you may long as you had some balance to it, Kelly. That's all. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. At least that they gon' let me tell you something too. And when they be like that right there, I be trying to tell them. Like if you continue to be manipulative like that, your kids gonna be manipulative too, and then you're gonna understand just what I'm talking about when you come down to that. So stop it already. Stop with that. You know. But anyways, y'all, you all have an amazing day and continue to grow. Um, and we're gonna all continue to grow together. But I appreciate you all, and I will talk to you all to get later. High class gardeners, and that just means over here we continue to grow, and as we grow out in the garden, we grow along with it within ourselves. What we growing in the garden. The high class part just means over here we don't play around with worms, snakes, and bugs, and that's in real life. Not just the ones that be out there in the garden and then slithering around on the ground. We talking about the ones that come in that form in real life. We don't mess with none of that stuff over here. So if you interested in being a high class gardener, then come over here and chill with us from time to time. We love to grow over here. And with that being said, you all have a wonderful day and continue to grow. See y'all later.